Welcome to this edition of the Davidson Football Coach's Corner with Scott Abell, powered by Wade Associates. Coach, the Wildcats are 3-1 following a tough test at Campbell a couple weeks ago. You had an off week though. What was it like for the players, and what were the staff up to that last week?
Yeah. So when you go into a bye week, it gives you an opportunity kind of to measure yourself, right? To evaluate where you are, where you want to go, and so we did that as a staff and as a team, and it gave us the opportunity to get healthy. Yeah, and then to really kind of get back to the basics, and that's what you do. You spend some time kind of revisiting things you did in camp, remind the guys why we do what we do, and then at the end of the week, you get we call it a next man up scrimmage. Get some young guys who maybe hadn't seen the game action you would want, and so I think it's a good recipe for us during bye weeks, and we're limited staff-wise because we do send some staff out on the road, right? So. We had some coaches in California last week, and Texas, and Utah, and Florida, and Georgia, and just really trying to round out this recruiting class.
Another strong defensive effort at Campbell 2 weeks ago. The offense eclipsed 400 yards on the ground for the first time this season. What were some of the bright spots of that trip?
Well, there's a ton of bright spots. I mean, I thought you take away probably 6 plays in that game, and we dominate a Big South team. But you can't take away 6 plays, and that's a lesson to be learned, right? That every play matters, and you can't have 4 turnovers in a matter of 1 quarter and expect to beat a full scholarship Big South team, and we didn't. Now, where I am incredibly proud of our guys is our resilience, the never give up mentality, which gave us the opportunity to come back. We actually took the lead there at the end, and forced them to have to make a game-winning 50-yard field goal, and so. There's so much positive from that. You wish you could have some of those plays back, but hopefully we'll learn from those, and that'll pay off for us going into conference play.
You alluded to it in the preseason a little bit. Your offense can still air it out a little bit. Down 2 touchdowns late at Campbell, you had to break out a couple quick passing plays. How did your guys respond, and who shined in those moments?
Yeah, we think we're certainly a different offense this year, which I knew we would be. And part of that difference is our ability to really hurt people through the air, and we've shown that all year. And so when that is called upon us, guys like Jalen Staples really jump out at you. He's a dynamic young athlete for us. Didn't play much as a first year, but has really come on this year, and people are having a hard time defending him. He jumps out at you. I thought he did some really good things, but up front we protected Tyler well, right? I thought Pat Tabor really made some big plays for us coming down the home stretch, and those are things you want to see also with, when we lost Will a couple weeks ago, we knew some young guys would have to step up, or guys who hadn't necessarily had to make those plays in the last 18 months would have to make some of them, and we saw that Saturday.
Before we move on to Morehead State, let's talk about a couple of cool things that happened last week. George Italowicz was awarded his All-State Good Works trophy at practice before practice on Thursday. Ethan Steinbacher was named a Campbell Trophy semifinalist. What a great few events for the Cats last week.
It really is, and it's kind of the big picture, right? Kind of come off a heartbreaking loss, and you're quickly reminded of the important things that you're surrounded with day in and day out, and what George does out of football in his service work that involves our football program is incredible. We're blessed to be a part of that, and Ethan is more than deserving of all the accolades that are coming his way, and what he does in the classroom, on the football field. So incredibly proud of both those guys and excited for our program.
PFL play starts this week for the Cats on the road at Morehead State. One of those teams that Davidson's been in it with them but can't get over the hump. What challenges do the Eagles pose? Yeah,
I think the thing that jumps off tape when you watch them, and it was the same way last year, they're really athletic. I mean, they're as athletic as anybody in our league. They run well on both sides of the football, and that poses a problem for a lot of teams. When I look back to last year, certainly it was a dogfight, right? It was a game that could have gone either way and didn't go our way at the end there. And we, even though we were coming off some back-to-back wins, it really, when I look back, it was probably a game we didn't play our best, and that's been our emphasis, right? Worry about ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, and that's kind of been the theme coming out of this bye week. Control the things we can control and be at our best, and the scoreboard would take care of itself.
How important was it for you to go to Campbell, take a road game? This is another bus trip. How important was that 2 weeks ago? and going into PFL when you got 4 road games?
Yeah, I think it was huge. I mean, last year our first road game was Dayton, and I thought it was important to get one under our belt before we started PFL, and more importantly, to play the level of athletes that we played, right? You know, and I think that's probably the bigger thing for us as we head to Morehead. You know, we talk about the level of athletes they have, and I said they're as athletic as anybody in our league. But I know this: Campbell's as athletic as anybody we've played since I've been here, or more athletic than anybody we've played. And so to see our guys run around at that level against that type of athlete and that type of speed, we're really hoping that's going to pay dividends going down the road.
All right, well, that will do it for this edition of the Coach's Corner with Scott Abell, powered by Wade Associates. Davidson on the road this week at Janes Stadium in Morehead, Kentucky against the Morehead State Eagles, the Pioneer Football League opener for the Cats. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. For Scott Abell, I'm Jake Brewer. We'll see you next Monday.